या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। पूज्य माँ भगवती, पूज्य Sri Arvind, you all are the chosen children of our Divine Mother. Choice is imperative, either truth or abyss. That was the final mandate given to the world through the disciples of Pondicherry. That was message directly from the mother. World, countries, continent, man. It was for countries, continent and man. For the whole earth, either truth or abyss. Abyss is Kurukshetra. Truth is Dharmakshetra. It is the truth that is the only essence of new consciousness. Rather, truth is the synonym of new consciousness. Truth, as we understand, is a limited sense of the truth. But truth as absolute, as inevitable, as divine, as infinite, as eternal, as real, that is truth. And that is why Sri Aurobindo defined God to be truth, consciousness in totality. So in totality is rather the genuine aspect of the truth that will be prevalent tomorrow in the over life, in this time and nature of over life. So when the entire earth is going to have a new mutation, and new mutation is not the mutation only, a revolution in matter, revolution for matter, revolution by matter with the means of science. So it is science that will not only bring truth to the world, it is the divine that can bring truth to the world. And unless divine is intervening in the truth revolution, revolution of Sat Chit Anand to be manifested on the earth at its own will, then it becomes the mutation. And that is over life. During the span of over, so many, Sri Aurobindo has written, so many species will be there, which are overman species, which are interim species. But interim means what? The interim is definitely beyond man, communicable to man, communicable to humanity, but on the basis of truth. So there are certain relative stages of truth also, which mind of that particular species can assimilate, comprehend, realize and act. That is how the earth is accelerated towards the supramental being, rather towards supermanhood. Manhood is to be drawn towards supermanhood. And Satprem has also written one important masterpiece as such on the way to supermanhood. We are on the way to supermanhood, and Mother, during the course of her own categorical, reliable, ultimate experiences of cellular transformation or cellular patterns module, pinpointedly suggested certain parameters for we people to execute, for we people to think, and for we people to create cellular pattern in a scientific way, cellular pattern in a biological way, and cellular pattern for the spiritual realization directly from the supramental. That is overman. So over mentality will have truth as its pedestal, not attachment, conditioning, reaction as prevalent characteristics and traits of mentality are to be sidetracked. Mind has to be mindless space. What is to be lessened is mind, not the space. What is to be lessened is the pseudo functions of mind. Pseudo functions of mind. So it is with the little mind we have to make room for light to enter, from the supramental light to enter. The bounded mind became a boundless light. Bounded mind became interim mind is not written. Bounded mind became higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, over mind was not written. The bounded mind became a boundless light. Light is always boundless. Light is always boundless. Might be a solar light, might be electricity, might be the light of the fire of matchbox, matchstick. Where there is light, there is infinity. Where there is light, there is boundlessness. Where there is light, there is beauty. Where there is light, there is reality. Where there is light, there is love. And that is how the one word of God, God, God does not mean God that we are worshipping, does not mean God that is supreme only. God is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. And taking this concept into account, Sri Aurobindo has defined God with three different words: multitude, beautitude, and infinitude. So multiplicity is there in light, beauty is there in light, and infinity is there in light. It is light that is only infinite. It is infinite. It is light that can make the world move. It is light that can make the cells also move. It is light that can make the matter infinite. It is light that can make the spirit also infinite. So it is consciousness exists because of its essence light. Its essence is light. And she is a golden breeze and a wonderful fire. Mahasakti, is light. In Nutana Gayatri, Sri Aurobindo has given Gayatri Mahamantra in a different mold. Gayatri Mahamantra was universal. Gayatri Mahamantra presented by Vishwamitra in our Vedant is universal. Still universal, and tomorrow also it will be universal. But still, for the supramental world, Sri Aurobindo gave new Gayatri Mantra wherein Varam Rupam Jyoti, that was the dictum offered to the world. Varam Rupam Jyoti is and shall be the objective for mind to be supermind, for manhood to be supermanhood, for mind to ascend with utmost accelerated power, and the accelerated power can only be provided to limited minded man only and only through light. Only and only through light. That is light. And that is why Sri Aurobindo transmitted to Mother that was supramental light, supramental power, supramental infinity. But the nomenclature that was given himself by Sri Aurobindo was mind of light. Mind of light means light has mind. Light has what type of mind? Gayatri is the mind of light. Gayatri is the mind of light. And what is Gayatri? Varam Rupam Jyoti. Varam Rupam Jyoti is the light. Varam Rupam Jyoti is the divine. Varam Rupam Jyoti is the absolute relativity derived from absolute reality. That is the way towards over manhood, over life. Sarhom, Mother said Sarhom in French. And Sarhom has got multidimensional meaning, multidimensional connotations. It's a new linguistic. And Lord Krishna mandatorily asked Sri Aurobindo in Alipur jail to find out the clues for new linguistic, wherein the all different religions of the world, those which tried and tried and tried hard to find out the core truth, and core truth was there. Still core truth is there. Doesn't matter. The people belonging to that particular religion might have understood it totally or not, is not the question. But truth in almost all religion exists. If that truth is so assimilated, so assimilated, so assimilated that it becomes truth in totality. And that truth in totality will be the God. Truth in totality will be the spirit. Truth in totality will be the energy, capital energy, master energy, total energy, the absolute energy. And that absolute energy, when becomes visible on the earth, either through matter, through light, through instruments, through technology, through any media, that becomes over life. It is the mind of the cells. It is the mind of the cells. Satprem writes, which holds the key to death. Mother is listening to Satprem also. And Satprem raises certain queries in response to the mother's statements. Are not all digestible to Satprem. But Satprem never hesitates to offer his inner reality before Mother. Though Mother is the listener and Satprem is speaker, still dialogue that is going on between Satprem and Mother on agenda is tomorrow's Upanishad, is tomorrow's Srimad Bhagavad Gita, is tomorrow's reality, is tomorrow's truth. It is the mind of the cells which holds the key to death, and that is the key to death. That is the key to death. It is light that is the key to death. Mind of light is the key to death. That key, that light, that reality, that divinity, that infinity can open up the avenues of our hidden inner consciousness of psychic to be so activated that new cellular pattern will be by birth formulated in our body in a natural, spontaneous way that can bring immortality to us. Or rather, to non-death. See, rather, not immortality immediately, non-death. Most of the death will be at a first stage rooted out. Death will cease to be must. If we desire, if we wish, if we invite, if we realize, then we can give up the body. If body becomes intolerable, if body becomes unbearable, if body becomes a burden to our psychic, not to our mind. Every day our body is burdensome to our mind. Every day. Right from today. But still we love it. We love it. Till death we love it. And even beyond death also we love it. That is what our Pishach Yoni, Pret Yoni, what is it? It is the love for the body that makes them move. That makes them move. It is the love for this body that makes them run here and there. Spirit is motivated with the love of flesh, bone and blood. It is not love. It is attachment. That attachment is energy, and attachment being an energy makes the spirit move. So spirit is given velocity even after giving up the body is from attachment. And attachment for what? Attachment for worldly life, attachment for body, attachment for bones and blood, attachment for worldly pleasures. If that attachment is converted into the attachment for supreme truth, then that will be the way to supermanhood. To the state in which death and life change into something else. See, then only death and light can change into something else. And something else means where there is no death, where there is no must of the death, when there is inevitability of the death rooted out. It is only light which can root it out. Light cannot be extinguished. Light cannot be extinguished. Fire to some extent also before us is not extinguished, though it is extinguished with water. But there are certain events which we have witnessed that fire also will be uncontrollable even with water also it cannot be so instantly extinguished. We cannot put out it so instantly. Light is superior to fire. Light is always superior to fire. Because it bears light, it involves light, it includes light, and it offers light too. It is fire that can offer heat, but it can offer light too. So it is light that is omnipotent. It is light that is omnipresent. It is light that is the super reality, and it is light that is only divinity visible. Visible. To the state in which death and the life change into something else. This is something else. What is something else? Matter will start exploring its own light. Matter will start offering its own light. Matter will start living its own light. That is the way to supermanhood. Our matter shall reveal the spirit's face. So which type of spirit's face will be offered to us, presented to us for our assimilation? That is the face of light. Sri Aurobindo saw Mahakali in Gujarat on the bank of river Narmada. What did he see? He saw the light from the matter. He saw the light from the idol. He saw the light from that shrine. So he saw Mahakali also in the form of light. Sri Aurobindo saw Lord Krishna there in Alipur jail. What type of Krishna was seen by Sri Aurobindo? Was idol? Was photograph? Similar to Mona Lisa and Last Supper? Picture? What was it? It was the quantum of light. It was the beam of light in human figure. And human figure of what? Of whose choice? The presented Lord Krishna's figure was mind of light. Mind of light. Krishna was there with the super mind. Supramentalized Lord Krishna presented before him, where mind was supermind, body was superman, and reality is super reality expressed at the level of super relativity. This is the science of tomorrow, and we are to digest that science of tomorrow with higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, and over mind. That is the way to supermanhood. That is the way to over life. That is the way to over manhood. That is the way from Nar to be Narayan. The clue which was left out at Srimad Bhagavad Gita's time on Kurukshetra is regained by Lord Krishna in Alipur jail before Sri Aurobindo, and that is this over life mother experienced. Change into something else, that is change into something else. Nor is going to be changed into something else, that is the representative of Lord Krishna himself, in which the opposition no longer exists, in which the opposition no longer exists. Nobody opposed Lord Krishna even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Till last moment. Bhishma also ultimately surrendered to Lord Krishna. Drona also ultimately surrendered to Lord Krishna, and Duryodhana also ultimately surrendered to Lord Krishna. This is the Mahabharata of Kurukshetra, and this is the Mahabharata of our present relativity. That is the Mahabharata of death. And death has relativity totally presented in Mahabharata, where Lord Krishna was in the center, and Lord Krishna's objective to make Nar into Narayan was also vibrating everywhere, but was not fulfilled. Now it is fulfilled. Where Jagdamba took reign of the entire existence and started executing this wheel of supramentalized Lord Krishna, then the experiment is fulfilled. Experiment is completed, because the march has been enhanced into the direction to launch the seed of the life divine on the earth of mortality to manifest immortality. something else in which the opposition no longer exists. Death is not the opposite of life. Death is not the opposite of life. Death is the illusion accepted by life. Death is the hallucination entertained by life. Death is the hallucination loved ignorantly by life. It is the same state, the same brew of something we call existence, where we sometimes, as Satprem writes, catch death for good. We receive death for good. If there is no death, there won't be the life to our taste. There won't be the life to our happiness. There won't be the life to our bliss. There won't be the life to our anand. But in fact, it was always there. We are born with it. It is always there. That truth, that anand, that infinity, that light, that consciousness is always there with us. Simply, we are ignorant of it, and with the result, we love our own hallucinations. We love our own hypotheses. We love our own incomplete ambitions. We love all our attachments in the name of truth, love, reality, and everything. We are born in it. We could say our cells constantly spin the habit of defeat and death. Our cells moving in the wrong direction. Our cells just working in the wrong direction. Our cells molding them into a wrong pattern. If that order is changed at the cellular level, then only we can experience this love and light as the synonyms of our life. We can experience love and light. Love and light. It is love that can conquer death. And Sri Aurobindo propounded that principle so scientifically, ultra-scientifically, spiritually, and ultra-spiritually too in Savitri, that dialogue with death is constantly vibrating at this time in each and every cellular pattern of the mother at 92. Then it is no longer life as we know. At that time, we know that there is no life as we have suffered. There is no life which is death bound. There is no life that is hallucination bound. There is no life which is wrong pattern, wrong nature, everything wrong bound. So you can just keep such a sound synthesis of all different conventional true concepts, but you must have sound synthesis leading you at every step towards totality, because it is the accomplished truth that is to be assessed, realized by us. Then we can execute this programming in our body. And if we don't know the procedure, we must at least minimum, we are required to surrender ourselves to the Mother, let thy will be done. We have no other right. We have no other programming. We have no other way. There is no second option to this. Then it is no longer life as we know it, which is only suspended death. It is the life where death is suspended. And it will be our privilege tomorrow if we accept this procedure not as executive, but as witness, as drashta, as observer. If we become observer, we are not actor, we are not executor. We have to accept it as witness. But we are made witness to this programming, and Satprem was the first human being who was made witness by the super master, by the top executor, by the divine herself. Can we not be Satprem? Can we not imagine the state of Satprem to be the superhumanity? Can we not imagine the position of Satprem, whom as position of Arjun was there before 5,000 years back, before Lord Krishna, similar was the position of Satprem before Badar. False space, false matter, and it is no longer death as we know it. If this false matter is pointed out, recognized, false reality in existing in our cellular ecology is realized, if false movement of our cells is being recognized by our psychic and offered to our mind to realize in spite of its bounded state, we can chalk out our new way to super relativity that is being given to the world with the descent of supramental. That is over life. That is over life. The shattered bowl, which does not mean the death of the fish, the shattered bowl, the bowl of the fish. If it is shattered, bowl is shattered, environment is shattered, vessel is shattered, not the fish, not the fish. Humanity will remain there, but humanity will be given turning point. Humanity will be given U-turn. Instead of death, humanity will have to experience the total quantity of truth, consciousness, love, and new reality. Shattered bowl, which does not mean the death of the fish, but the beginning of another species or another reign on earth. And that another reign on earth is the reign of overmanhood, reign of overman humanity. Reign on earth, yes, a new phase of life on earth. Yes, a new phase of life on earth. Mother says now, when I have learned the religions have fallen before they were divided. They each wanted you to be religious to the exclusion of other religions, and all knowledge has failed because it was exclusive, and man has fallen before he was exclusive. This is what the very reason why crusades had taken place. Conflict in the name of religion are just at present we experience conflict, confrontation, and all sorts of differentiation and differences are on the ground of this exclusiveness of the faultily established religion. My watch is correct, my religion is correct, my God is correct. That is the seed of conflict. God is there, God is there, God is truth, God is love, God is light, God is consciousness, it is there. But our self-made God ultimately promotes conflict. It doesn't promote realization. And man has failed because he was exclusive. Man has failed because he was exclusive. Mine is the only truth. That exclusiveness is the root cause of conflict. Even today, now that has to be rooted out. And that has to be turned into the sound understanding with our bounded mind. Then we can charter this new route with safety, security, assurance and understanding. Minimum that is required to enter into this new zone of new species. That is what Mother says. What the new consciousness wants, see what the new consciousness wants from us. What is minimum requirement on our part to be eligible for this new experience and new era, for new time, new age, new consciousness and new way of living. No more divisions. See, the very first thing is no more divisions. You are something else, you are someone else, I am someone else. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakama. The true and ardent, genuine spiritual fraternity is the only nature of tomorrow. No more divisions. Being able to understand the extreme spiritual nature. This is the extreme spiritual nature that is a must for all of us, as well as the extreme material nature. We must have the sound synthesis of extreme material nature and extreme spiritual nature. To be speaking simply, the sound synthesis and sound unity between America as materialist reality and India as spiritual reality. That will be the true federation, that will be the leading factor for the new earth to be one. Nature and to find their meeting point, see that, to find their meeting point. If both of them will meet with understanding, sensibility, science, experience, true ambition and true religion, that will be the true religion of tomorrow. Sanatan Dharma, that was Lord Krishna, asked Sri Aurobindo, you are meant for this, meant for this, meant for this. What I could not give you outside, now I have come here in jail before you, keeping you in jail for this very purpose, and that purpose was served by the mother. Where they become a real force, they become a real force. Mother and Sri Aurobindo, getting supramental, descended down on the earth, became a real force, not for India, nor for Hinduism, nor for any religion of India, for entire mankind, in order to offer them the new stage of new race of overmanhood. See, this is the programming. They become a real force, and the body is also being taught that by the most radical means, of the new cellular pattern, body is also given the very first taste of immortality. That is mind of light, and that is mind of the cells. Radical means, they all say, this but not that, no, this and that, and also this other, and that other, all of them together. This is permanent synthesis, final synthesis, no contradiction, only grand total, only truth consciousness in totality, only light in totality, only love in totality, only reality in totality, and that will be accessible to our little mind, higher mind, illumined mind, whatever stage of mind the race at that time possesses is made available to that mind, will be the way to overmanhood, or will be the way to supermanhood. Together, to be malleable enough and broad enough to include everything together. It can include everything together. And the same in the body, that will be the same reality same anatomy, same stages and layers of consciousness within our body, provided the key is to be operated from our new cellular pattern. And the same in the body is used to this but not that, that or that, no, this and that, no, matter and spirit both. Matter is not to be excluded, matter is not to be rejected, matter is not to be discredited, matter is not to be underestimated. It is matter, physicality, vitality, mentality are to be accepted and are to be operated in such a way that it is the psychic that can be strengthened, it is the psychic that can be operated, it is the psychic that can be motivated, it is the psychic that can be eligible to express multiplicity, infinity and beauty of the truth. And everything stems from that, and everything stems from that. Everything stems from that. This is the source of everything. Well, words are woefully inadequate, but over life is life and death together. Over life is life and death together. Death will be the facet of life. It is the continuity of life which can include death. We can overcome death with the force of light if life is charged with light. If life is charged with consciousness, if life is recharged with super consciousness of our psychic, that is mind of light and that is mind of the shell, then we can overcome the death, and life of tomorrow will be the life with eligibility to overcome death at any time. That will be the death at will. Life and death together. When even call it over life. You may call it over life. Mother says, you can call it over life. Where is always tempted to learn on one side the light and the dark. Light and darkness coexist. It is the darkness that can give opportunity to our bounded mind to see the absolute light. At the time of solar eclipse, we want dark glass to see the solar eclipse. It is dark glass that can bring light of the sun on this moment to our mortal eyes. Similarly, it is the darkness of the world, darkness of relativity that can give true taste of immortality to our mortal mind, to our mortal body and to our mortal internal geometry. This is over life. Over life, we are always tempted to learn on the side the light and the dark well. Mother says, dark well. It is that darkness that is also very well. It is also required. It is also required. So this relativity to express supreme reality is a means, is a methodology, is a way of living, and that new relativity will be the way of living of the over life.